Hello folks, welcome to pjpatron Studios. I'm going to be doing a new segment here called Top 11. And for this first episode of Top 11, I'm going to be giving a ranking for the top 11 DCEU films. Now with that said, there's only 11 of them, so it kind of makes it out perfect, but nevertheless, we're going to be doing that series of films that have had its ups and downs, not without controversy, but I have always been actually somewhat of a defender and even a praiser of these films, and I'm here to give my top 11 for all the films that deserve it, and hopefully we get more to come for this universe. So here it is, the top 11 films of the DCEU. Quick side note, this top 11 ranking of the films of the DCEU, this is just my opinion. It's what I view as the ones that I like from least to best. Number 11. Justice League 2017, the theatrical cut, aka Justice League. Okay, so I'll be honest, when this movie first came out, I gave it a pass. I thought, it's a live-action Justice League movie. I get to see some of my most favorite comic book superheroes on the big screen. So I gave it a pass. But a second viewing, I noticed massive flaws. The CGI was shabby. The villain was very one-note. And the digital removal of Henry Cavill's mustache in this movie, just very, some spots were okay, but others you could just be like, oh god, okay, no. And after learning all of the backstage issues and behind the scenes, what happened, and the unfortunate of Zack Snyder basically getting this movie taken away from him, and also with his daughter committing suicide and him eventually leaving the project to be with his family, and with Joss Whedon being brought on and him rewriting and reshooting and leading to everything that so much that went wrong, and also some of the issues he had with the cast and crew. Honestly, the only reason this movie isn't on the top 11 for DCU films is by default, because there's only 11 DCU films in this whole connective universe. So yeah, I'm more than sure the next DCU movie that comes along is going to bump this right off the list. But yeah, for now, 2017 theatrical cut of Justice League, to be here thou and forevermore be known as Justice League, at number 11, where it belongs for now. Number 10. Suicide Squad 2016, and I'm going with the extended cut. So this is another film that had massive studio meddling. They didn't take it away from David Ayer though, not fully. He's still stuck on, even though studio basically kind of tied his hands behind his back and took this movie away from him. So again, same issues. The only reason why this is just a step above Justice League is because this one doesn't have as much egregious CGI atrocity as that one does. And honestly, the cast in this that's one thing that anyone who talks about this movie will always give, is the cast brought their A game. Will Smith, despite what happened not that long ago with the Oscars, with him slapping Chris Rock, he was great in this. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn has become the definitive Harley Quinn. Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag. Everyone else on the cast did a phenomenal job. I'm actually one of the few that actually likes Jared Leto's Joker in this. The only thing I would say is that his character was kind of wasted. He didn't really have all that much to do. I would still like to see hopefully there is talk that we might be getting, or I don't know, hopefully we might be getting an director's cut of this film. Hashtag release the Ayer cut. But until then, Suicide Squad at number 10. hopefully we do get that David Ayer's Suicide Squad. Once again, hashtag release the Ayer cut.
Number 9.
Wonder Woman 1984. So, this is the sequel to Wonder Woman, and it's, to be quite frank, this one was basically a more hokey version of what came before for Wonder Woman. And it's kind of hard to believe that this was made by or directed by the same director, Patty Jenkins, who directed the first Wonder Woman movie, directed and written this one. And I don't know what exactly she was trying to go for by making this a more campy, more hokey sequel. It's not as good as the first one by any means. It has its moments though, and I would say one bright thing out of this movie would be Pedro Pascal as Maxwell Lord. I mean, he chews the scenery in this, but my God, he is entertaining as can be, and you can tell he's having a ball with this role. He basically takes the form of a wish, takes the powers of a wishing stone and becomes, well, a wishing, anyone who touches him can make wishes. And it leads to some pretty interesting events that take place. But overall, it's just not quite... It doesn't hold a candle to the first Wonder Woman movie. And while it is great to see Chris Pine again, it just kind of felt like a little bit of a rehash. Except both sides are flipped. This time Chris Pine's the fish out of water and Diana is like, showing him around and bringing him up to date. They still have some pretty good chemistry though. And that whole him possessing some guy, that honestly, that should have been cut out. But overall, Wonder Woman 1984 at number 9.
Number 8.
Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn 2020. Okay, so this one is a fun little R-rated adventure flick with Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. And the Birds of Prey, even though it's titled that, they're basically kind of, supporting cast. And you don't really get to know them as much. It's kind of odd because, honestly, while this movie is fun, it's a fun R-rated flick, it kind of feels like the Birds of Prey were basically sidelined and it just was the Harley Quinn movie. And if they were going to do that, personally speaking, I would have preferred a Harley Quinn versus Joker in this. I mean, I'm one of the few that likes Jared Leto's Joker, so I would have preferred that. But for what we got, it was a fun little R-rated hijinks flick where Harley's being chased by all these gangsters and corrupt people that are all trying to get her because she's no longer under the protection of the Joker. And the Birds of Prey, they're all kind of sidelined a little bit, but they all have certain moments in the flick where they all get to have some shining grace moments. And overall, I wish there was more of that. Ian McGregor as Black Mask you could tell he was having a ball with this role, and he was a lot of fun, honestly. I wish that he wasn't, spoiler alert, wish he wasn't killed off. But overall, Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn at number 8.
Number 7.
Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition, 2016. Okay, so this 3-hour cut, I know it's considered to be a divisive, either you love it or you hate it, and I'm thinking there might be even a small margin in the middle who are like, it's fine. Me, I do lean more towards I really do enjoy this flick. It brought two of the top comic book characters, superheroes together on the big screen for the first time. And honestly, even with the theatrical cut, I still found myself in being one of the few that enjoyed that. But the Ultimate Edition just gave more weight, more context to the story, more character development for Superman, and made, spoiler alert, his final sacrifice at the end of the movie really impactful. So I honestly found the Ultimate Edition just to be the definitive cut. I would recommend, if you have yet to seen it, to go out and watch it. And another note on this is I know it's also a bit of a mixed bag on the portrayal of Lex Luthor by Jesse Eisenberg. I actually am one of the few, I guess, or one of those that actually kind of enjoys his portrayal. It's different, yeah. I'll give you that. It's different, but I didn't think it was bad. I felt like there was conviction to what he would be saying about how he was seeing Superman as this godlike figure, and that he felt like God was not there to protect him when he was younger against his father. And there were moments in this where he's given his motivation, and you could just feel like, yeah, there's something there for him. I'll admit some of the spaz moments could be toned down, but I always felt like that was just part of his facade. Overall, though, one thing I would say is that what would have probably benefited this movie better if it had been split into two films. You could have had the first film be Batman v Superman, and then the second film be like a Dawn of Justice, where Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman all came together and battled Doomsday at the end. But overall, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition, at number 7.
Number 6.
Shazam 2019. So going into this, I had limited knowledge of the Shazam character. I know he's also called Captain Marvel, but with the whole MCU and them having their own Captain Marvel, I see why they went with his other name, Shazam. But I'm just going to say, going in with the limited knowledge I have on this movie, I had a blast watching it. Zachary Levi, who plays the title character, Shazam, the superhero, he really embodies the character of Billy Batson, grown up into this adult version, and you can tell he's having a blast, acting like basically just a giant kid or teenager. And Asher Angel, who plays younger Billy Batson, or teenage Billy Batson, he does pretty good. Him and Jack Dylan Grazer, they have some pretty good chemistry, and so do Zachary Levi and Jack again, who plays his foster brother. With both actors, he's got pretty good chemistry. And the rest of the foster family, you can tell they're going for a really family oriented environment, where they're all developing and learning to become more together, and basically not just a foster family, but a family all together. And the story that goes on is Billy has been in the foster system. He's been on the run, more or less, trying to look for his mom, who pretty much kind of abandoned him. And he eventually learns to take up the family he has, this newfound family that he has grown to come to attach as his own. And it just leads for a heartwarming, family-oriented superhero film. The one thing is that there are some dark elements to this. Mark Strong, who plays the villain in this, he basically gets harnessed with the power of the 7 deadly sins. And there are some moments in this where they're in this boardroom of executives, and they go to town on all of them, and one even bites off the head. It doesn't get too gruesome. You don't really see the blood, but it's got some dark elements. So overall, a blast, some pretty good visuals, some fun, a lot of comedical moments, and Shazam is at number 6.
Number 5.
Aquaman 2018. So, Jason Momoa was one of the bright spots in Justice League. That was that train wreck. But I was curious to see how he would do on his own film. And with Jason Wan directing, I was very, very curious to see this. And when I saw it, I gotta be straight up, it was an absolute blast. This film is a visual spectacle to behold. So basically you get Aquaman, Arthur Curry, who's being recruited or being sought after by Volko and Mira, played by William Dafoe and Amanda Heard, to basically come and capture the throne from his half-brother Orm. And you basically get this kind of retelling of like a King Arthur story underwater. And while some may see some of the things that happen in it to be a little campy or hokey, me personally, you're talking about a superhero that basically talks to fish and can swim and breathe underwater. You're gonna get some hokiness with that. But my God, the visuals in this film were unbelievable. They were spectacular to see. Jason Momoa does a fantastic job once again as Aquaman. And he's basically made the Aquaman character that I know many kind of consider to be a bit of a joke. I mean, Aquaman's always had a bit of a bum rap, and he's taken it and he's actually given him some street cred, to be quite blunt. So yeah, this one definitely a visual spectacle, bit of a hokiness to it, but it doesn't bother me. It had some great action moments, really good telling of basically a bit of a retelling of a King Arthur story. And the final battle between where you basically have all these underwater creatures all coming and Aquaman's just to be quite honest, if you haven't seen this film, I recommend you go watch it. A visual spectacle to behold. The final battle was unbelievable, and I'm very pumped for the sequel that's coming out. So Aquaman 2018 at number 5.
Number 4.
The Suicide Squad 2021. This one is the sequel / reboot of Suicide Squad. You have the returning cast of Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag, Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, and Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang. You get John Cena as Peacemaker and Idris Elba as who kind of is a replacement for Will Smith, but you could tell that this role was basically going to have Will Smith as Deadshot in it, but it's Idris Elba who's Bloodsport. But you could tell it was definitely written to have Will Smith in place. But nevertheless, once again, James Gunn gives you a R-rated blast. Definitely an unleashed James Gunn who was able to do almost anything he wanted. A blast, what many I would say considered wish that the first Suicide Squad was. Honestly, I really enjoyed this film. I thought King Shark was pretty funny, while also kind of terrifying, like funny, terrifying. You get this creature called the Weasel, who basically ate 27 children or something like that. Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang he does return, but unfortunately, spoiler alert, he gets taken out like within the first 15 or 20 minutes. And I always felt like that was just unneeded shock value. And that's something that's always bugged me when they do something like that. They take a returning character and just kill them off within the first 20 or 15 minutes. So that kind of knocked this down a little bit for my enjoyment factor, especially at the third act of this movie. There was this other character called Milton who was basically there just to really kind of help, but he basically gets taken out. And I felt like, you know what? I would switch Milton for Captain Boomerang, and if Captain Boomerang was in there and he got killed off in the third act, fine, but at least he would have been in most of the movie. Overall, though, this one was a blast. You get the introduction of Starro, this giant kaiju-looking monster starfish thing, alien, and that was pretty interesting, to say the least. You get the Thinker in this for a brief moment, but he gets, spoiler, taken out. But overall, you get an R-rated blast. James Gunn Unleashed. Great performances, high impact action, R-rated hijinks. The Suicide Squad, definite improvement over the studio cut, over Studio Squad, and I placed the Suicide Squad at number 4.
Number 3.
Man of Steel 2013. This is Zack Snyder's first entry into the DCEU, and it's the one that kicked off the whole film series. Some consider it to be a bit of a divisive film again, but honestly, I'm in the camp that really enjoys this. I really do enjoy Man of Steel. Possibly the best Superman live-action film we have gotten, and I know that might tick a lot of people off, but honestly, I really enjoyed this film. I hope to all end that we do get a proper sequel, and I hope we do get to see more of Henry Cavill. I don't know. I've been hearing some mixed messages whether or not he'll be returning, especially with what's happening with the Flash movie. But overall, Man of Steel, it started off the whole DCEU. One of the best, most underrated, criminally underrated superhero films out there. I really do. The spectacle of this movie, Henry Cavill, phenomenal as Superman and Clark Kent. Amy Adams, real good as Lois Lane. The whole cast does a great job. Michael Shannon as General Zod, having a ball. He's really he makes his own General Zod and doesn't exactly take from Superman 2, the General Zod of that film. He makes his own General Zod, and he is fearsome, someone you just would like, oh wow. Great stuff from him. Epic battle that happened. I mean, that's one thing you can say about this movie. It's got a very epic feel to the story. And I see what they were talking about when Zack Snyder said he wanted to do like Lord of the Rings, but with superheroes. And you do get that with this. You do get that feeling with this, especially with his later films. But overall, Man of Steel, great film, criminally underrated, and at number 3.
Number 2.
Wonder Woman 2018. Directed by Patty Jenkins, starring Gal Gadot as the title character, Wonder Woman / Diana Prince / Diana Princess of Themyscira. Okay, I love this film. This was DC's the DCU's first major hit, both financially and critically. And honestly, this was the knockout for the standalone female superhero films. Because up to this point, not too many of them ever really did very good. Catwoman, oh boy, don't ever bring that. The Halle Berry Catwoman, not very good. Elektra with not very good either. And just, yeah, female-led superhero films did not do all that great. Wonder Woman broke that curse and gave us one of the best films in the DCEU, in my humble opinion. Great stuff. You get this, it's basically almost like a wartime movie with Wonder Woman, and her and Gal Gadot and Chris Pine have some great chemistry in this one. You get the fish out of water storyline with her coming from this tropical island, trying to navigate through jolly London, and you get this whole little fish out of water moment with them, but you get their chemistry together. You get that, how they're like, how they work with each other, and it leads to some great moments, some pretty damn good action. You get the third act, I understand that some consider it to be the weakest part of the film. Yeah, I get what they talk about. While you get one villain throughout most of the movie, turns out to be just kind of a false main antagonist, and the true main antagonist comes forth as Ares. I get what some people say that led to the weakest point of the film, but overall, Wonder Woman, spectacular, great story. Gal Gadot knocks it out of the park and is the definitive Wonder Woman in many people's eyes, including my own. Massive success that the DCU needed. Wonder Woman 2017 at number 2.
And at number 1.
Zack Snyder's Justice League 2021. Alright, this is the cut, and in my personal opinion, the definitive cut of Justice League. This is what should have been the 2017 theatrical cut. It boggles my mind how Warner Brothers completely butchered this whole situation. Gave us what was Justice League and expected everyone to just smile and be happy with it. And it took a massive fan campaign, hashtag release the Snyder Cut, to get this film to come to basic existence. I mean, that alone should be a massive achievement for fandom. And okay, reason why I picked this as my number 1, besides the fan the fan movement that basically got this film, I mean, this is what the Justice League movie should have been. You get all of the Justice League characters, each of them gets development, they all get their moments, the characters get to breathe, you see their stories in this 4-hour epic, and it's absolutely astounding. You get the redemption arc for Batman. Wonder Woman, you see her coming to terms with the whole world as is and wanting to be more out there to try and save it. You get Arthur and Cyborg and Flash, all of them who were introduced in Justice League. All of them basically, Aquaman, he was actually more or less one of the shinier spots of Justice League, but Ezra Miller and Ray Fisher, Cyborg and Flash, they basically got the stick, the boot end, and it's amazing how they were able to take those characters and give weight to them, give levity, especially Cyborg. Cyborg, you get to see his story, you get to see the hurt and sorrow and how he lost his mother, how he was brought back from near death by his father, and the resentment he holds, and you just get to see everything and how he is basically a digital god. And with Flash, I know there's controversy with Ezra Miller, and I honestly hope he gets help. But speaking on the character that was portrayed in this, you get the Flash, and you get a quirky kid, yes, but you get you get his story that he's getting from his father, the arc that he has with his father. He's trying to like help his dad get out of prison for a crime he knows that his dad didn't commit. And you get this really full story arc with him saying the words that his father said to him, make your own past, make your own future, it's all right now. And that was just, that gave certain gravitas to this whole film. And the return of Superman was much better handled here. Henry Cavill, that whole mustache gate is gone, and you get a full circle arc with his character too, when he's coming to terms with who he is and what he needs to be. Just all the characters get their due in Zack Snyder's Justice League. And that, and the visuals, the villain Steppenwolf, he gets his due even. He gets a redemption of sorts in this film. Not only does he look more intimidating, not only does he actually sound even better and has better dialogue, but he has a character development in this as well, where he's trying to get back in Darkseid's good graces, and we get to see Darkseid in this. Just what could have been. What could have been, but for everything that the Zack Snyder's Justice League is able to accomplish, the action, the visuals, the storytelling, the character development, all of it, and even a redemption part for Jared Leto's Joker, who I've always actually considered to be not given a bad rap, honestly. And he gets a pretty good scene with him and Ben Affleck's Batman and the nightmares at the end. And God, it just made me hope that we get more. Martian Manhunter gets a cameo in this, but it was still honestly pretty cool to see that it was Sergeant, or I guess the General, I'm not sure, General Swanwick or Sergeant Swanwick, who was in Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, and in this it's revealed that he was Martian Manhunter this whole time. And it just makes me hope and pray that we eventually do get more. For all this, that's why I put Zack Snyder's Justice League at number 1. So there you go, folks. My top 11 films of the DCEU. My name is Patrick. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Comment below. Let me know how you guys would rank your own top 11 for the DCEU. Let me know where you guys stand on this whole shared universe and where it might be going. And I'll catch you on the next video.